So, a little saying that encapsulates what I wanted to share with you this morning has to do with the topic for today, which is called What It Does. That is the official name of today's topic, What It Does. If you ever heard the line, God, or you can say Spirit, Creator, the absolute, whatever you wish, never gives you anything you can't handle, that is it in a nutshell. And yet, there's more to it than we might think. What this means is that Spirit, I like to use that word a lot, gives to us to the degree that we are able to be receptive to it, what we're able to open to. It gives us knowledge to the degree that we're ready to understand. It gives us anything to the degree that we're ready to receive it. It gives us absolutely anything to the degree that we're ready to have that. No more and no less. The reason that it works that way is because despite the possibility that Spirit knows what we need and could just give it all to us without our making any choices for ourselves, is that we wouldn't be free if we did it that way. We wouldn't be free. And there's more to it than just that. Even so, if we think about this idea that we have available to us as much as we're ready to understand, available to us as much as we're ready to take in, as much as we have room for, it boils down to this idea that we must first know it. And I just mentioned the word understand. If you want to understand something, what do? You find out more about it. The key to all of this is to get to understanding, because once we reach understanding, then we can embody something. Then we really truly know it, because it's become part of us. It has become who we are, an aspect of who we are. And that's when the real magic starts to happen. So, going back to this idea that Spirit gives to us what we're ready to receive, if we look at that, there's a really interesting idea about why that's so, in addition to the freedom part. You think about how sometimes we're all compelled, I'll confess, to offer people free advice in our time, because we can see clearly what's best for them. And we really want to help them. So we like to go ahead and save them some time by telling them this insight that will just, shorten the trip, so to speak, and get things moving along. Well, that doesn't work, because not until that person is ready to receive it is it going to be something that they will understand and be able to embody and experience the benefit of, no matter how right you are. Right? The same goes when the shoe is on the other foot. If someone loves you so much and they want to spare you pain, so they just say, listen, I've been there, I've done that, I was your age once, I was in your place once, and here's what you need to do in order to avoid pain or whatever. Here's what you need to do to get to the finish line faster. Are you going to get it? No. The really neat thing about Spirit giving to us what we're ready to receive is that when we're ready, we'll do what? We'll ask. When we're ready, we'll ask. We'll seek, we'll knock, right? And it will be answered. It will be added. It will be open, but not until then. Why? Because we're not ready. If we get what we need before we're ready, before we have a place for it in our lives, what will we do with it? We won't know what to do with it. We'll probably walk right by it, right? Trip over it, or say, well, I'm going to put this in the closet because I just don't know what to do with it, or in the garage or the attic, or go ahead and pass it on maybe at a yard sale. We won't know what to do with it until we're ready, because when we're ready, we can ask. And when we ask is when we can have it. So that's another nuance of our freedom to get to choose when we're ready to know something. So if there's something that we would like to know, if there's something that we would like to be, if there's something that we would like to have, the answer is the same every time. Now, in this teaching, we talk a lot about how it really begins with knowing. And that's what this section of it is about today, is this idea that it does begin with knowing. So, let's say there's something over there that I really want, that I don't have in my life right now. The way to get it, per se, the way to have it in my life is to know it. And not just to know about it, because about is another nice word for around, and that's not embodiment, that's not understanding, that's superficial, that's just getting started. But if I can know it to the point where I understand it, I'm getting closer. Now, I could just walk over there and I could demonstrate by eating one of those beautiful pastries or something, right? So I want to know it till I understand it. And when I understand it, what's going to happen is this understanding is going to be a part of me. This knowledge is going to be a part of me. And it's what I embody. And guess what? Then it's what I express. And there's, like I said, where the magic begins to happen, because that's what draws my experience to me. We've heard this now through Abraham and so many others about being a match for what we desire to experience. And Gandhi said, be the peace you wish to see in the world. You could say, be the anything, and that phrase would still be true. Be whatever it is that you desire to have in your life. So we have knowledge, which is a start. Then we have understanding, which is sort of like intermediate. And then we have embodiment. That's where you get up to, third year or master's degree or whatever the case may be. You're not I'm mixing all my metaphors. You're not a black belt yet. But anyway, you're getting closer to a type of understanding that becomes part of you, and that's when the magic happens. I was thinking about this morning, that one example of this principle is when you are in a play, or if you are looking at someone who is an actor that you admire, perhaps someone who mastered an incredible accent for a role that was not their native, tone of voice and what have you. What those actors do is they immerse themselves in the study of that character, whether they're playing a real person or a fictional one, and discover every nuance, every intonation, every single gesture, whatever it is, until those things become part of that person. And then when they express it, they're expressing it from embodiment. And when they express it from the embodiment, we believe them, right? Well, it's the same principle. When we get to the point where we understand something so much it's become a part of us, then everything about it is ours to experience. So let's say maybe over there on this banquet has been laid out all along plenty of harmonious relationships, plenty of abundant prosperity, plenty of personal fulfillment, plenty of health and well-being, vitality, plenty of creativity, plenty of whatever those things are that we are desiring. And really, all we need to do is to begin to know it better, and the rest will take care of itself. Literally, start Googling that thing. That's what we do these days when we want to know something. Buy a book. Ask someone who already knows about that. Take a class. Go to a seminar. Maybe become part of a group that's committed to learning that thing together. And there will come a time when it's no longer foreign to you. It's no longer new to you. And then the magic begins to happen in your life. Because that knowledge is part of who you are, and every gift that goes with it becomes part of your life. So instead of saying, oh gosh, I can never have that, I can never do that, I've never done that, I've never had that, just begin by the desire to know more and follow that until you do know, until you do understand, until that knowledge is a part of you. And all that is will be yours as well. That's what we're talking about today. I'm going to stop there because I want to save time for our guests. So that is a little primer. That is a taste of things to come. We're going to do a little song that I believe is quite familiar to many of you. It's in every one of us. And when we finish, I'm going to offer a short affirmative prayer. And then we'll sing one last verse again and move on. Okay? This is our message too today. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us to be kind. Find your heart, open up all your mind. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. It's in every one of us to be free. Spread your wings, be all that you can be. We can all go anywhere that anyone can see. It's in every one of us, you and me. It is in every one of us. It is in every one of us because it has made us in its image and in its likeness out of itself, and it's all that there is. It is inescapable good, inescapable knowingness and lovingness and perfection and life. And who would want to try? I recognize that the truth of who we all are is this wonderful, wonderful, infinite goodness. As far as we can go, as far as we can go for as long as we can do it, we cannot escape this good. I recognize this truth and know that it is the truth of each and every one of us. And so we surrender to this good and allow this to be the governing force in our life that it already is. We let our thoughts be guided by Spirit's intelligence. We let our love be guided by love itself. We let the perfection of life permeate every aspect of our beingness and do what it does. And we let our energy and our vitality be dictated by life itself. In gratitude for this and all of the delightful ways that it shows up, I give thanks. I release my word. I know it is done. And together we say, and so it is. We'll just sing the last verse one more time.